Hello there, and welcome to episode 5 of Dead Reflections Podcast.
Got it that time.
I got it that time. I didn't eat the microphone when I did it. I don't know why, but I always feel so rushed, so I'm like, come here. You know, I'm ready to go.
You nailed it. That was perfect that
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
5 whole episodes.
5 whole episodes. For those of you who are listening, this is going to be a live stream of this episode. Every other episode, we live stream it on my Twitch. That's twitch.tv/driftervoyages. And now Kolby is going to light the black candle that we light every episode. This is candle number 5. Candle number 5. Ah, dun, dun.
Are you making a Mumbo number 5 joke right now? Okay.
I'm sorry. This coffee's really good.
I know, you really hit you really
fair,
quick.
Yeah,
fair
it was
warning, Josh has had 2, or no, he's already
You've had
only
an energy drink?
one cup of coffee, an
Yeah.
energy drink. What else?
My
Did you
heart's
do
going
crack
to explode.
before we just went
I
on?
no.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No crack. No puedo.
You got a lot of energy.
No puedo. I
What
love
I'm
the
saying is you got
baby.
And a special episode.
Yes.
We hit 50 listeners on Anchor.
Hey, let's go.
And we promised chat that after 50 listeners, we would do a live stream seance with the Luigi board.
Luigi, no.
And we have it all set up here.
Yes, we will have a camera for those who are watching that will be pointed down on the Luigi board so that you can see what we're seeing.
That
Yeah.
is post podcast.
We're gonna have one of the ghosts stand on the table and hold the camera over our heads.
So for listeners and people not watching it live on Twitch, this is kind of incentive for things that we do like this. You might want to tune into the live stream so you can catch up on all the weird stuff we do when we're not doing the actual podcast.
Exactly.
Yep. And just a little announcement. We made a link tree with all of the links. Literally any place to listen to it. Well, the popular ones like Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. It's all on the Dead Reflection podcast pages. It's on the Familiar with Failure pages. It's on our personal pages. At least it's on my personal
We'll get
page.
it on ours.
But yeah, it's just a simple link tree. You can listen to the episode straight from the link tree thing. It's pretty cool.
Yep, and also as a reminder, we will not be looking at chat. I mean, we will be looking, but we cannot respond right now for all of the people that are watching us do the live stream on Twitch right now. But know that we know you are here, and we appreciate you. And we will have a chat segment after the episode that will also include the Luigi board.
And can you shout out your shirt real quick?
So we do this thing every episode where we wear band merch and we shout out the bands and we post their Spotify links in the show notes. But I didn't wear a band t-shirt today, but I did wear one of the best ramen shops ever made, Ramen Tatsuya. Look at the back. It literally says Slurp and Destroy.
It's the local ramen shop there in Austin, Houston, and Dallas.
Yes, and it is delish. Delish, highly recommend, 10 out of 10.
And then you got your own hat. Don't forget about that.
Oh, yeah, and then I got my own hat. For all of you who are here, you can buy this hat at my merch store. That's Big Cartel / Drifter
Does that make you
Voyages.
feel horrible to say it?
It really does.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Money grab.
So first off, I'm rocking the boy, Charlie Crockett, one of my favorite Texas country artists. I think he's from like South Texas, but
San Benito.
San Benito. And yeah, I spent a lot of time in New Orleans learning jazz and playing on the street. He's a really cool artist. Go check him out. And then I got a sick Knocked Loose shirt on from their last EP. I forget what it's called. It's like,
A Tear in the Fabric of Life.
yeah, that's right. And little surprise, I also brought this.
What is that?
What
It's
that
the
is?
cassette tape that they sold.
Ah.
Oh, that's
okay.
cool as
That's dope.
shit.
And I thought it would be cool to put it up here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Somewhere.
Very
That
good.
whole album, Real Talk, was like
It was phenomenal.
Yes,
really
it was
good.
a masterpiece.
One of my favorite like projects.
I haven't heard an album like so well put together since the Zombie EP from Devil Wears
Dang,
Prada.
that's high praise.
Yeah.
They'll be when they are here in Texas. We will be in Lubbock. So the night that they play in Austin at Emo's, we'll be in Lubbock.
So
at
we need
Jake's.
to embrace the spirits
cool.
of Knocked Loose and put on a good show.
Exactly. Yeah,
Alongside
we're gonna rock Jake's. That's gonna be a fun
little
one.
segue. Friday we're playing in Lubbock.
Yeah.
If you happen to be in the area,
Please come hang out.
This episode comes out Friday morning, so
If you
So
hear
on
it,
the drive
don't get
to the show,
It's at
you
Jake's.
can listen to the episode.
it's at Jake's Sports Bar.
Jake's Sports Bar. I don't know Jake, but I heard he's a good guy.
I think so.
That was my dad joke of the evening.
Last shirt. We'll knock mine out and let's get into some stories.
All right.
I've now consecutively worn 2 bands that no longer play or tour, and I didn't realize it. I can't say that for Ghost Key because they are playing a show. So there's that. But Vanna was last episode. This episode I got Sorority Noise, which is like, what would you classify them? Like Midwest emo pop punk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say
Sad pop punk.
emo,
Sad punk, yeah.
Yeah.
sad boy vibes.
Sad boy, yeah. But yeah,
Dude, I actually really like that shirt a lot.
yeah. It's got
Is it meant to be faded like that?
No.
No, you
No,
just worn the
I
shit
worn
out of
so
it.
much. I actually have
That's
2 of
what's up.
these. I have another one that's the exact same. Like I bought 2, I guess, for some reason.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I got 2 of them.
All right, so that's the band merch that we're wearing / ramen shop that we're wearing. So, what is our first story, Mr. Kolby?
So I actually have 2 stories today.
I'm doing handguns.
I have 2 stories today. They're both weird happenings that like in a home, if that makes sense. Like just
The same home?
no, not in the same home, but they're both like just your classic like
Haunted
haunted.
home?
Not really haunted. Not neither of them are like paranormal, but well, one is. But you'll get it.
You'll get
Yeah.
it. So, one thing before you start your story, let's go around the room and say what we're going to talk about. Like, tell our stories before we do the
Yeah.
stories. I think that'd be
Okay,
really cool.
like a little preface.
Yeah,
beforehand.
so you're doing those 2 stories?
Yeah, so the first one is called It Started as a Leak,
Uh-huh.
and then the second one is called Atop the Stairs.
All right. What you got going?
So last episode we drew from our little guy here that still needs to be named, our little jar that needs to.
Yes, for
give
anyone
us-
listening or watching, please send us names to name our jar. He needs a
Anyways.
name, or it's going to be Steve. I swear to God.
So Steve, for the moment,
Yeah.
we drew from him. We got Smiling Man, which is a thing, whatever you want to call it, SPC, whatever thing, entity that you don't like, or that I don't like specifically. And I went all in and I looked up the main, like the origin story. Then we got some encounters on Reddit, a couple of those, I think 2 or 3, and then we have my personal tale that to wrap it up. And
Dude, that's what's up. I tried to look up like personal encounters and I couldn't find anything
They're all
except for
very
the
short.
main
Yeah.
story that, was
Yeah.
on Creepypasta or whatever.
And I will say that there is a like a 4-minute short film on that story.
Yeah.
And it's very well done.
Yeah,
So,
and it's fucking
yeah.
scary.
Yeah,
It's
it's
great.
very, very
Definitely. Well, you know
terrifying.
what? Let's put the link in the show notes for that. I think that'd be
Yeah, and just a reminder, we won't be reading chat during the stories, but we will have an entire chat segment after the stories.
Yeah, so stick around, hang out, talk amongst yourselves while we talk about the spoops. If you got any questions, save them, and we'll talk about it after we are done during the chat segment.
Yep.
For me, I'm so excited. Okay, so I have one story. I don't know if you would call it a story though. It's actually a to-do list.
Okay.
said it was
So
a-
it's called
Said it was a game?
It's a game. It's called the One Man Hide and Seek, aka the One Man Tag, and it's basically a ritual, but they call it a game. So I'm gonna go through how to play it.
I mean, this is kind of a ritual / game.
That's true. So we got 2 games that we're gonna play today. Yeah, because we're playing it.
Okay.
That's right.
We're playing this too.
No, I'm just kidding. We're not playing it. I'm not playing this. This shit is fucking creepy as hell. Anyway, and then
If it's dope, I'm down.
what? And then
That's the word of the week.
And then I'm so excited, guys. I have a story that my 7-year-old daughter wrote called Nightmare, and
The famed author, Belly.
Belly. She wrote me an entire story to read on the podcast, and I told her that I would. And I am not gonna lie, it is really fucking good and a little concerning, but that's okay. And I'm super excited. So I don't know if I should do that one first, or I'll probably save it for the last thing that I read. But yeah, cool. I guess that's all the stories. Are you guys ready?
Yeah. You ended last time, correct? So I'll be ending. Okay.
Yeah, you'll be in. And you got a longer one, right?
Yeah, so that'll kind of work out.
That works out. Hell yeah, I love it when a plan comes together.
All right, are we ready?
Ready for some
Yes, sir.
spooks?
This one's called It Started as a Leak. The rainy season began in early summer, and June had been no exception. It did not surprise the man when he discovered rainwater dripping from his dining room ceiling. Shrugging it off, he placed a tall pot beneath the leak and expected it to stop on its own. However, it continued to rain, and before he knew it, the pot would threaten to overflow. He had to dump the water out first thing in the morning and straight after he returned home from work. Eventually, he began to notice water damage at the source of the leak. The white ceiling had discolored, turning a dull shade of brown. He checked the weather and realized that it would continue to rain sporadically over the next 10 days. The man was worried about the ceiling mildewing and becoming an expensive repair, so he called a local handyman. Unfortunately, the man did not sign to have repairs done. Only his landlord could. It was a frustrating policy. We know that.
Yes.
The man called his landlord but could not reach him. He left him a few voicemails detailing how the damage was becoming progressively worse. The man was clueless as to why his landlord would not return his calls. They usually kept in touch, speaking at least twice a month. Finally, he reasoned that he would not be held accountable for any damages sustained. One night, the man was startled awake by a massive thump. He quickly turned on his bedside lamp, and just vaguely, he could see an overturned table and a large shape laying across it. He sprinted out of his apartment and called the police, gagging at the smell. The man sat in the police station, still in shock at what he had witnessed. He did know one thing. There had been a dead body in his ceiling, and the water had saturated so badly that it caved under the weight. So far, the body was unidentifiable due to the rainwater and was being autopsied. While the man waited, he called his landlord and finally reached him, panicking as he explained the situation. His landlord was just as alarmed, and the man pleaded for him to come to the station while he made his statement. The man paused as the detective crossed over to him, and he lowered his phone, wondering if the body had been identified. His blood ran immediately cold, and he shook his head with terror. The body belonged to Richard Thompson, his landlord.
What?
And he had died over a year ago. That's not what disturbed him the most. If his landlord was dead, then who was pretending to be him?
Yo. Fuck that. No, I know I say that for every story, but fuck that. That hits way too close to home. You know, all these people that be renting houses right now are like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, especially in Austin right now.
Oh, man.
That and it just doubles back on my fear of just doppelgangers and mimics, like where it's just something that isn't what you think you're talking
something's
about.
pretending to be.
Yeah, so even someone just pretending to be somebody else is still
me.
like, oh, man.
It's worse when it's a person you know and you see them and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
Like if we were doing all this and then you call me, I get like a phone, like you step outside to take a cigarette break and then I get a call and you're like, hey guys, I'm running really late. I'm so sorry.
Why did you tell me that? I'm totally going to do that.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
All right. Y'all ready for the second story?
You always want to fuck with me. I'm going to get you.
So this one also has to do with living in a house. It's called Atop the Stairs. In the 1980s, there lived an old widowed lady by herself in a 2-story house who was completely immobile and bound to her wheelchair. Ever since the mysterious death of her husband, she required the aid of a carer who would visit her daily to help her with her everyday tasks. What made it even more difficult was the fact that the 2 floors of the house were only connected by an old staircase inside. When the old lady needed to move between the two, the carer would have to carry her frail body like an infant up and down the stairs. One day, the police received a call from the widow. There had been a murder. Since the police units were scarce at the time, and the murderer had already fled the scene, only one detective was sent out to conduct the initial crime scene report. He arrived to see the carer's body splayed out on the floor with her vocal cords ripped out in a pool of blood on the first level of the house, with the old lady atop the staircase in her wheelchair watching him, still and silently, seemingly in shock. He could immediately rule her out as a suspect due to her inability to move up and down the stairs, and because she was trapped up there at the time the murder took place. It was similar to the death of her husband many years ago, who had suffocated in his sleep on the couch downstairs. The detective put on his gloves, took photos, swabbed for evidence, and covered the body until the coroner arrived later. All routine business. He scoped the house downstairs for any clues, then asked the old lady if he could look upstairs. She insisted that she was upstairs the whole time and no one apart from her had been up there all day. But regardless of this, the detective ascended to the staircase, Jesus, to which he hesitantly moved aside. She hesitantly moved aside. Beyond the staircase, there was a narrow corridor with three closed doors along it. He checked behind each of the doors. The empty bedroom, nothing. The bathroom, nothing. He became anxious as he slowly made his way to the final bedroom where the old lady slept. He opened it and everything looked normal. A bed, a wardrobe, and a bedside table with a lamp. He checked every wall of the room in horror, as it was not what he discovered, but it was what he didn't discover that made him stop dead in his tracks and slowly reach for his gun in its holster. It was a detail so minor that he had completely overlooked it on the last investigation of the husband's death. There was no phone upstairs. He suddenly heard a noise as he withdrew his gun and rushed out of the room, only to find an empty wheelchair atop the stairs.
Dude.
Kind of fucked that one up, but
That still gave me chills. That's fucked.
Yeah, you got the point.
the
across.
lady killing everyone coming in the house.
Yeah.
That,
Dude, fucking old ladies, man.
I think you was it that one or was it the first story that you demoed on us whenever we were doing like testing? You read us one of those because I remember.
did I?
I remember the titles.
I think
you
it
read
was
us,
it was a late. It was at the top.
was
of
it
the
that one?
stairs.
Because you read like the first
yeah.
like paragraph and we were
Yeah.
like, you're gonna stop there?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that one's
Dude,
good.
both of those were really
Yeah.
good. Both of those were really good.
Those were too short for me to like
Yeah.
do a full fledged,
single
so
ones, yeah.
I just threw them together.
Yeah, those are both interesting.
Dude, those, yeah.
I think the first one got me just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But both of them were pretty good.
All right. Well, that was a good way to start to get the fucking heebie-jeebies in. Let's go. Are you ready?
I am ready. So what are you doing first? Are you doing belly story?
I am. Oh, wait, am I going first?
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
I
that's
meant
right.
you
I
were-
am going first.
You
God,
little goofball.
I am a goofball. Okay, so, all right. Because I'm so excited. All right, so earlier
is the phone one shorter? Because I'm really excited for this one now.
okay. Here, you know what? I'll do the game first. Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I'm anticipating this one a lot.
Okay, so there is a game that is called One Man Hide and Seek, aka One Man Tag. It is a ritual for contacting the dead. The spirits which are wandering restlessly on the earth are always looking for bodies to possess. In this ritual, you will summon such a spirit by offering it a doll instead of a human body. And now I'm going to read you the step-by-step things you need to do in order to make this happen, in order to play One Man Hide and Seek.
Would you like me to grab the doll that's on the
I was
shelf?
about to say you didn't bring a doll.
What?
You said you need a doll to do it.
Oh.
I can grab the doll real
No.
quick for you.
No,
We can
you have to be
we can
alone.
grab the doll real
Well, we'll
quick
leave the
for you.
room and you can do it.
I'm
That's
just
okay.
nope. That's not happening. All right, so here it is: One Man Hide and Seek, step by step. So this starts with a warning. If you have psychic abilities, shit.
That one was a
Dude,
little
that made my
delayed, I'm
heart
sorry.
drop, bro. If you have psychic abilities, you may feel unwell or be prone to accidents during this ritual. Here are the things that you need. 1 stuffed doll. It must have limbs. Rice,
Check.
enough to stuff the doll full. 1 needle and 1 crimson thread. 1 pair of nail clippers.
Check.
1 sharp-edged tool, such as a knife, glass shard, or scissors.
Check right there.
1 cup of salt water. Natural salt would be the best.
Fuck. Yeah. You got natural salt.
A bathroom with a bathtub and some form of counter.
Check.
A hiding place, preferably a room purified by incense and afura. There must be a TV in there.
Kayla's family's Muslim, so check.
All right, so that's all that you need. Here's the preparation. Take out whatever the doll is stuffed with. Once all the stuffing is removed, restuff it with rice. Step number 2. Clip off a few pieces of your nails and put them inside the doll. Sew up the opening with a crimson thread. When you finish sewing, tie up the doll with the rest of the thread. So, like, bind the doll. 3. Go to the bathroom and fill your bathtub with water. 4. Return to your hiding place and put the cup of salt water on the ground. So that's like basically the preparation to start the game.
Okay.
And then here's how you play the game. Give a name to your doll. The name can be any but your own. When the time is 3 a.m., say your name is the first. It to the doll 3 times. So say your name first to the doll 3 times.
Okay.
Okay.
Go to the bathroom, put the doll into the water-filled bathtub. Turn off all the lights in your house, go back to the hiding place, and switch on the TV. After counting to 10 with your eyes closed, return to the bathroom with the edged tool in your hand. Go to the bathtub and say to the doll, "I have found you," and then say the doll's name. Stab the doll with the edged tool 3 times. Say, "You are next, it," the doll's name, as you take the doll out of the bathtub and leave it on the counter in the bathroom. As soon as you have put the doll down, run back to the hiding place and hide. Now here's how to finish. Pour half of the cup of salt water into your mouth. Do not drink it, just keep it there. Get out of your hiding place and start looking for the doll. The doll is not necessarily in the bathroom anymore. Whatever happens, do not spit out the salt water. When you find the doll, pour the rest of the salt water in the cup over it. Then spit out the salt water in your mouth onto it as well. Say, "I win," 3 times. This is supposed to end the ritual. After this, make sure you dry the doll, burn it, and then discard it later. That's how you play the game. Most important, please do not stop this ritual halfway. If you must do it, you must do it through the end. This is a dangerous ritual, and I will not be responsible for what happens to you if you try. Other things to keep in mind. Do not leave your house until you have done the finishing ritual. You must turn off every single light in your house when told to do so. You must keep quiet while hiding. You do not need to put the salt water in your mouth during the beginning. You only need to do it during the finishing ritual. Remember, if you are living with someone, you might put them in danger too. Keep the ritual/game under 2 hours, or else the spirit will be too strong to remove. For safety reasons, it might be best to keep all doors in the house unlocked, including your front door as well. Have friends close by so that they can come in and help at a moment's notice if you ever need them. Keep a mobile phone close at hand would be a good idea too. And then here's some little side notes. The rice represents innards and also has the role of attracting spirits. The crimson thread represents a blood vessel. It seals the spirit up inside the doll. By cutting the thread off, you break the seal and release the spirit you have trapped. If you go out of the hiding place without salt water, you may encounter something wandering around in your house, which may harm you in some way. The way you feel the presence of something wandering around is you watch what happens to the TV that they told you to turn on. The video clips below show. Oh yeah, he basically posted a video, and I watched the video, and it happens. But essentially, nothing really happens to the TV. But it gives you some idea anyway. You can hear the changes in the sound, like the sound volume went up and down, and the pitch changed, and basically the video got a little distorted and fuzzy at some points.
Mhm.
And then this is the part that like creeped me out. So what I didn't tell you is he was typing this out, the ritual, while he was doing it. But before he hit post, he like it was long as shit. It was like this, like it was like a long paragraph. But I summed it up. It says, wait, don't do this game, don't game, wait, no, yes, play, no, wait, game, play, yes, play the game, it's so much, it's fun, play, yes, no, play, yes, game, yes, 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 and it just keeps
Oh
going.
my god.
And then send.
Are you sure he wasn't hitting autofill?
I have no idea, but like it was just like, what the fuck? And then yeah, that's it. That's how you play one man hide and seek. So you guys ready to play?
I was about to say, so we're doing this because that sounds phenomenal.
No.
That's a no.
No.
Fun. That's a no for me, dog.
What?
That's a no for me, dog. The whole time I was reading it, I just pictured like a creepy ass doll, like walking around and running around the room and stuff. There was another story that was like kind of about this game. It called it something else, but it was in the same category. And they described about how when they did it, they could hear the footsteps running back and
That
forth
would
and
fuck
shit.
you up.
That would fuck
Yeah.
me up. But I wanted to do the game because I think it's interesting. We are not responsible for anyone that plays
Yeah.
this game and something bad happens to
I
them.
also say we don't recommend you play the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, we do. Yeah,
Leave
that's
that
right. We
to
don't
the
recommend.
experts, us.
We are not
We
experts.
will,
Experts, I don't know what I'm
we
doing.
will do it for you.
If you don't see me ever again,
and
or
we'll
hear
bring
from
it
me
to
ever
you
again.
live on Drifter Voyages.
I don't know what it is about ritual stuff like that where they tell you step by step that it's freaky to me. It's really freaky.
Yeah, you're over here fidgeting and
Yeah.
stuff. And I
Very
got
weird.
really hot. It's really hot in here. Are y'all hot?
I'm good right now.
I'm fucking burning up.
That's probably
Might be the coffee.
It might be
Probably.
the demons.
I also wish I
demons.
had another cup of coffee. Okay, so now that's done. Now moving on to the
Fun,
star
lighthearted
of the
story,
night.
right?
What?
Fun and lighthearted story.
Yeah,
right?
right. So, our daughter, who is 7 years old and is one of the smartest kids I've ever met in my whole life. Yeah, that's her. So she actually is a very like advanced reader. I think she's like in like 4th grade reading, if not higher now. And she's only 7 years old. She's in 2nd grade. Well, she supports me in everything. And she knows about the horror podcast, and she's just like me and my wife. She loves scary stuff. She plays like the Roblox horror games and all of that shit. And so she wanted to write a scary story for the podcast. And so this is her scary story. She was like, "Can you please read it?" Like she was so
Oh,
pumped.
That's crazy.
And I hope that she's watching. This is called Nightmare. I got a new dog, but he acts weird sometimes. He would bark at the wall, and I would hear him growl at night. In the morning, he's fine. Is it a nightmare? Or is it real? I need help. I scream, but no one can hear me. I wake up. Mom comes in. I'm safe now. That's chapter 1.
Okay.
I get my phone, watch stuff, and fall asleep. I watch my dog. He looks up at me. His head flips upside down. I stay silent and still. His neck grows. I try to wake up. Is it the end? No, I see a gun. Should I? I throw it out the window. I wake up again. The end of
Brother.
chapter 2.
My dude.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Chapter 3. I go outside. I see my dog. He's normal, except his leg won't move. I think it's broken. But he would be yelping. I'm tired. It's 10 p.m. I fall asleep. My dog is on me. I get up, but there's no exit. My dog looks down and gets up, looks at me, and smiles. I'm scared. The dog got up and smiled at her. What the- I break the window. I jump out. I feel it consuming my body as I walk down the street. I yell for help. No one's there. I find an axe. I take it. I hear someone crying. I ask what's wrong. They respond, I'm dying. I'm stuck. I need help. I yell, but they're dead. But then my dog barks. He's getting closer. I try to run, but I can't move. My arm swings and hits my dog. Is it over? I see salt. I grab it. I throw it on my dog. He dissolves. It's over for now.
What?
As I watch him dissolve, a potion rolls to the dust. I pour it on there, thinking it would burn. He comes up. I swing my axe, but he grows larger and larger as I try to run. He grabs me, but I stab my axe into his eye. It's over, I say, and it is. I'm safe. The end.
That was so good.
I know.
It's very, very creepy.
I love that it was a scary story, but it still ends good.
It had a resolve.
Yeah, because she has a beautiful heart. Even though she's trying to be creepy, but yeah, like that's her story. Nightmare.
I mean, creepy. Checked. That was very creepy.
I'm so proud of her. You have no idea.
I don't love that.
Why?
Because that is a 7-year-old should not be like that creative.
Dude, she's got a big old brain. I'm telling you. She loves reading, and I want to support this as much as possible because I want to push her. To I think that she'd be great at this, and and if she wants to write horror stories, go for it. She's actually reading a horror story right now for school. It's called The Lady of the Lake or something.
Your story?
No.
It's
I had a story called The Lake.
Okay.
No, you're thinking the Lady of the Lake from Dallas or whatever.
Yeah.
No, but this is just just a story.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
That was
good job, Belly.
Yeah.
That was amazing, Annabelle.
Oh man, this is a creepy.
That's
one,
gonna
man.
sit with me too because.
So you have dreams and stuff. I can't recall dreams almost at all. I can't recall any
It
dreams.
sounded like she was describing a dream.
Describing a dream. I don't know. Maybe I should have asked her if it was a dream that she had or not. But
This is her creative process.
Yeah.
That's how I'll write my dreams down when I wake.
Sentences.
If I remember my dreams, I'll sometimes jot them down, and I'm a quarter awake when I'm doing this, and so it's just it's in that format basically.
That's so cool. But good job, cutie pie. I'm proud of you. Daddy's proud of you.
That one was creepy, Annabelle.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some more submissions later on,
Right?
because that'd be pretty cool to do those every now and
Oh
then.
man, I'm sure she's jumping up and down all right.
All right,
Start right now.
Here's 10.
Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention is with each chapter, she drew, chapter 1, chapter 2, she drew it more distorted.
Oh, on purpose.
On purpose,
my
yeah.
God.
So
Yeah, I wanted to see if you could show me. Could you get us to this camera? Here, you're gonna have to back up because it's focusing on you, on your face.
Yeah.
So chapter 1 is completely normal, and then chapter 2 is a little more disfigured.
You should.
For listeners,
We should
it's white pieces of paper and red pen.
Yeah, she chose red ink.
And it's kids' handwriting, and like you said, it just
And
progressively
then
gets
chapter
more
3
and more
at the bottom,
distorted.
it just
That's
gets
crazy.
more and more.
You should get a black. What is that? What kind of paper that we used in elementary to just color on?
Are you talking about the one?
that thick
Cardboard,
textural?
Are you talking about the one
like
where when you
cardstock?
scratched underneath it and it was rainbow?
No, it's just cardstock, black cardstock
Yeah,
paper.
just-
Oh, okay.
Just
Get
thick
her
paper.
some of that and some white chalk and some red chalk. That'd be
Let her doodle away.
yeah.
There you go. Let's go. Dude, I'm so down for it. Maybe she can write enough stories and then we can make it into a book.
Oh, that would be
Ooh, that
crazy.
would be-
That'd be awesome. That'd be really, really cool, actually.
All right. Well, are you ready for your stories,
Yeah,
bro?
I think so.
I'm super excited.
So most of these are going to go by the Smiling Man. There's not a whole lot of story name variation.
Yeah.
So, again, we drew from our little unnamed jar here. We got Smiling Man, and I have the origin story, a couple encounters, and then my encounter.
Okay.
So
Let's go.
this is the
Wait,
Smiling.
your encounter?
my encounter.
Oh,
this is
shit.
the
Yeah.
Smiling Man. About 5 years ago, I lived downtown in a major city in the U.S. I've always been a night person, so I'd often find myself bored after my roommate, who was decidedly not a night person, went to sleep. I used to go for long walks and spend the time thinking. I spent about 4 years like that, walking alone at night, never once had a reason to feel afraid. I always used to joke with my roommate that even the drug dealers in the city were polite. But all of that changed in just a few minutes one evening. It was a Wednesday, somewhere between 1 and 2 in the morning, and I was near a police-patrolled park, quite a ways away from my apartment. It was a quiet night, even for a weeknight, with very little traffic, almost no one on foot, and the park, as it is most nights, was completely empty. I turned down a short side street in order to loop back to my apartment when I first noticed him. At the far end of the street, on my side, was the silhouette of a man, dancing. It was a strange dance, similar to a waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride. I guess you could say he was dance walking, headed straight for me. Deciding he was probably drunk, I stepped as close as I could to the side of the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to pass me by. The closer he got, the more I realized how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall, lanky, and wearing an old suit. He danced closer still, till I could make out his face. His eyes were wide and wild. He tilted his head back slightly, looking off into the sky. His mouth formed a painfully wide cartoon of a smile. Between the eyes and the smile, I decided to cross the street before he danced any closer. I took my eyes off of him to cross the empty street. As I reached the other side, I glanced back and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing, and he was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me. He was facing me, but still looking skyward, smiling, still wide on his lips. I was completely and utterly unnerved by this. I started walking again, but kept my eyes on the man. He didn't move. Once I had put about a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty. Still unnerved, I looked back to where he had been standing to find him gone. For the briefest of moments, I felt relieved, till I noticed him. He had crossed the street and was now slightly crouched down.
Oh, fuck you.
I could tell for sure that due to the distance and the shadows, but I was certain he was facing me. I had looked away from him for no more than 10 seconds, and it was so clear that he had moved so fast. I was so shocked that I stood there for some time, staring at him, and then he started moving toward me again. He took a giant, exaggerated tiptoe steps, as if he were a cartoon character sneaking up on someone. Except he was moving very, very quickly. I'd like to say at this point I ran away or pulled out pepper spray or my cell phone or anything at all, but I didn't. I just stood there, completely frozen, as the smiling man crept toward me. And then he stopped again, about a car's length away from me, still smiling his smile, looking into the sky. When I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. What I meant to ask is, "What do you want?" in an angry, commanding tone, but what came out was a whimper. What? Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can certainly hear it. I heard it in my own voice. That made me more afraid. But he didn't react to it at all. He just stood there, smiling. And then, after what felt like forever, he turned around, very slowly, started dance walking away. Just like that. Not wanting to turn my back to him again, I just watched him go until he was far enough away to be almost out of sight. And then I realized something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror as the distant shape of him grew larger and larger. He was coming back my way, and this time he was running. I ran too. I ran until I was off the side road, back onto a better lit road with sparse traffic, looking behind me, and then he was nowhere to be found. The rest of the way home, I kept glancing over my shoulder, expecting to see his stupid smile, but he was never there. I lived in that city for 6 months, and after that night, I never went out for another walk. There was something about his face that always haunted me. He didn't look drunk, and he didn't look high. He looked completely and utterly insane. That's a very, very scary thing to see.
Dude, so he just started charging at him?
Just full-blown sprint at him.
No, sir. No,
And
sir.
So the thing about this and all the encounters...
Ooh, that was creepy.
Yeah.
So they made a short about that. It's a 4-minute short. We'll put it in the description, and I recommend you watch it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, okay.
That
That's
was-
what I was picturing in
That's
my head
exactly
was
what
the
it was.
video.
Yeah. And yeah, that it was the video exactly. They did it perfectly.
Dude,
And, yeah.
that's awesome. Yes, we'll put it in the show notes, the link to that video.
If
It's
you want
really
a good visual
I
image,
was,
yeah.
I was picturing like kind of like Dirty Dog 6th Street, like
Almost
area.
okay. So it was like that, but the video was more rural. It wasn't as
okay.
it was still like a city, but it was like on a
Yeah.
suburb.
Yeah. Gotcha,
Sixth
gotcha,
Street
gotcha.
is like bustling. You know, you got people
Yeah.
everywhere.
I
But
was
yeah.
just picturing like just a
Yeah, long
dead,
stretch,
like
yeah.
no one else on the street.
Yeah.
You know what else comes to mind? Mimes.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be kind
Yeah.
of like
So yeah, he's described as this is weird. So my encounter did not have. I didn't see him on foot. It was passing by in vehicles. But a lot of the encounters say that you see him dancing in the middle of the street whenever you're by yourself.
so you'll just be walking down the street and all of a
Yeah, and
sudden
there's this
under a
guy that
street
just
light
looks
there
like
he's
he's-
just like
Yeah, and it's very much a waltz, like a 2-step, like you're doing 1, 2, and then a foot towards you, 1, 2,
Oh,
getting
so
closer to
he-
you.
So it's
The
classy
whole
with
time,
it.
he's classy. The whole time, the smile is huge, and he's just staring into the sky, and he's just
so he's not
slowly-
even
That's
looking at you,
very
but he's
that's
like
very
closer to you.
mimish.
fuck
Yeah.
that. That does not sound like a good time.
So, but yeah, there's a bunch of different things that they talk about happening, and old timey clothes is one of the common ones. The smile, of course, him being tall, which seems to be a theme. Just
Yeah.
scary things are tall.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to one of the encounters.
Big one.
Yeah, the big one from last episode, right? Okay, so again, this one's called the Smiling Man.
Also, before you start, I just wanted to say like mimes and like just people acting like that. The fucked up thing is like if that were to happen to us, we would like we're so extroverted that we would like join in, or at least I would.
I would for sure.
I know me and Kyle would.
I would be so gone.
Like if that happened to us like at a show and there's
if I ever
just
see a dude in the middle of the
See,
street
Jo-
dancing like that,
I know
then no.
Josh would.
Oh yeah, dude, I'd be
yeah.
all about that.
I might like approach him with y'all, but I'm not gonna be like. I'll be like peeking over his shoulder or something.
Like paint my face. Let me do it with you. Come on.
And it's different if he's in his like black and white stripe thing doing his mime stuff, but this dude is described as old timey
Like-
clothing.
Can we make a
dirty.
pact right now that if we ever run into a group of mimes, we just act like smiling men?
Oh man.
Oh, I didn't
We
give
just
you the
like
picture.
we
Damn it.
weird them out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, try
Yeah.
okay. I might be down for that. Okay, so this is one of the Reddit stories that I found on r/smilingman, posted by user Bad Mom for President.
Interesting name. Great. That was good.
My experience from 2007. My memory is blurred over the years, but I definitely remember seeing this man. This was in Anchorage, Alaska around 2006, 7, 8. Not certain. Me and two of my friends were walking down the street during a high school lunch period when a tall, very thin man walked by us. He just passed by, we continued on, nothing else. All of us were terrified, however. And after a couple minutes of walking in silence, one of my friends whispered to us, "Did you see that too?" He wore an old, well-footed suit without the jacket, just the suit vest. His face and head were disproportionately large because of his enormous mouth. It was a smile, but it was also wide open. His eyes appeared normal. The mouth was really what made this guy look wrong. It was huge and gaping. I've searched a lot over the years, and it's not something I've been able to find in online pictures as some kind of deformation or condition. All three of us remember this account years later. So that's the one Reddit thread.
That's what. Oh, so
So he literally,
no.
a lot of the stories too are just him like showing himself and then
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Just like kind of like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's
just
He
you know,
plays
Weird.
the long game.
yeah, it's the long game. 'Cause I don't find a whole lot of stories where he ends up getting someone.
Okay, so
like,
there's
killing
no
them.
stories of him like killing.
I'm
someone.
sure there is. I didn't find them.
Yeah.
What's his in game?
Exactly.
That's it.
Okay, so this is
That
also
is his end game.
on the
To
same.
keep us guessing. I
Exactly.
hate that.
This is on the same Reddit, r/the Smiling Man, posted by user Helen Ad or HELENAAD.
Shout out Helen.
Shout out Helen. All right. I saw him today. Okay. Basically, when I was just starting high school about 11 years ago, I had an awful dream where a bald man with a huge grin on his face was in my home and would not let me leave. I woke up as soon as I saw him smile, and years later I freaked out and uncomfortably by it. I remember telling my friend about the dream, and he said something about the Smiling Man. I didn't look into it any further whatsoever until yesterday, when I found a few Reddit posts. Some time passes. Today, while driving to the store, I swear I saw the same man that was in my dream. He was driving in the opposite lane towards me, and his smile was the same. a wide grin that no normal person has. He was again bald, hunched over, and his features were almost goblin-like. Long pointed nose, large, almost pointed ears. Either way, just super inhuman looking. Needless to say, I freaked out and I've been feeling extremely uncomfortable ever since. I'm not sure if this was a trick of my imagination or something, as I'm honestly a very logical person who always felt like these kinds of things were nothing but spooky stories, but after seeing this exact same man in my dreams as I did today and remembering that feeling leads me to believe that this is all real. Something about that appearance was so unsettling.
Okay.
See,
So, okay.
I think that's hella insensitive to goblin people.
Okay. That really hits home for me because there have been times where I've been driving to places and I'll see the oncoming traffic and you'll make eye contact with these people sometimes.
Hold on to this.
Oh, are you not done?
I'm not done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have one more. Let me see. We have one more Reddit story that's a little longer, and then my personal story.
Oh shit. Okay. Sorry.
So this is no, you're good because I want you to save it because my story is gonna get you a little bit more.
Man.
Once again, r/smiling man, user slaw boss.
Awesome.
Title of this one was I stumbled upon this sub while watching a Mothman documentary. As the title states, I was watching a documentary on Prime about the Mothman when they started talking about a smiling man. While watching, I began to Google this smiling man, and it led me to an infamous post about the guy in Seattle or wherever, the original post that we read.
Yeah.
It gave me chills. Not just because of the story, but because it sounds eerily like a story that I've been told by my parents my whole life. I'm 39 years old. This story takes place in a small college town in Tennessee with a population of about 6,000 in 1981. My parents were walking down the street from an old diner that served late that night. They said this happened sometime after midnight. They were walking home and noticed a very tall, lanky man in an old, dirty, and dusty suit. He leaned up against a light pole, smiling, ear to ear. Creeped out, my dad grabbed onto my mom, and they nodded while he stared at them with that frightening smile. My mom said his teeth were rotten and gross. As they passed him, they heard a shuffling sound behind them and a tick sound. My mom said she looked back and the man had a cane, and he was doing a funny walk, almost like a skip and a limp. She said while he was ticking the cane on the sidewalk. She said he was like Pepe Le Pew from the old Looney Tunes cartoons and had the most devilish grin. They kept walking faster and faster, and he seemed to be going the same speed, but was somehow getting closer and closer. My parents crossed the street, so did the limping man. The police station was about 2 blocks away, so they decided just to take off running there. The man just kept coming after them with his limping and skipping walk. They arrived at the police station. They tell the police. Their house is just about 3 blocks away. The police go out looking for the man, and after about 30 minutes to an hour, the cops come back empty-handed. My folks decided this weird smiling man was probably spooked and walked home. When they get to their street now, the man steps out of his shadow into the light, middle of the street. My mom said she screamed, and they bolted back to the police station. The police went out looking again, to no avail. The cops offered my parents a ride home, and they obliged. They went inside, locked all the doors, never saw the man again. I've heard this creepy story my whole life, and my mom and dad would both tell it. They both claimed it was the strangest thing to ever happen to them, and it seemed supernatural. I've thought of that story every single time that I've walked somewhere alone at night.
Well, yeah. So he just came out of the shadows?
Yeah.
He was like, I'm still here.
So the thing that I wanted to do by telling all these stories is that it's pretty like this. It's a similar thing. Like it's people around the world are seeing this similar.
So that was in
entity,
a whole different location.
Yes. Yeah.
Yo, why everybody gotta be calling the cops?
Well, if you're close to a police
I would
station,
call
there's a
the
dude
cops.
coming close to you, and you know that the police station's there, and you're booking it for it. This is also 1981. So.
4 out of all of our stories have involved the police.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, I
that's
mean,
true.
add some validity to it. Like
That's why they need to start a precinct that's strictly about paranormal stuff.
I'm just like
Men in Black.
if there's a dude being creepy, you're not gonna call the cops on him.
I mean,
Now I will.
I will.
Now
yeah.
I will.
Okay, so we'll wrap up my segment with my personal story of the
Oh,
smiling
fuck.
man. I don't have a title for this one. Just go straight into it.
Fucking Caleb shits his pants. That's the title.
Driving on the long stretch of 2-lane Highway 77 from my college classes in Schulenburg to my house in LaGrange, I had an encounter with the smiling man. or some sort of being, whatever it was, the only feature that still stays etched in my brain is the oversized smile and the awkward body position. The encounter was a fleeting moment of pure luck, if you want to call it that I saw him. I was going about 70 miles an hour, and I happened to look across the double yellow lines into the cabin of the vehicle in the oncoming lane. What I can recall seeing is a white male, older, maybe in his mid to late 50s, sitting very high in his car as if he was too tall, his head almost hitting the roof of the cabin, his shoulders shrugged and hunched over, hands on the steering wheel. Aside from the smile, the most eerie detail for me is that he was tall and hunched and the most eerie detail for me is that the tall, hunched, and awkward man was also facing me. The best way I can describe this is that if you were sitting in your driver's seat with your feet at the normal position to operate the pedals, but you twist your torso so that your body is facing the driver's side window or the very leftmost side of the windshield. All this in a fleeting moment, the image of this smiling man still gives me full body chills. A smile too large for his face, large enough for me, going 70 on the opposite side of the road, to be able to make out his oversized, teeth-filled grin. The rest of the drive home was me sitting in silence, trying to imagine it away or debunk what I saw, thinking maybe it was a glare in the windshield or something. Anything other than what I saw. On top of all this, while contemplating it, I realized there was no prompt for this. I had never heard of the smiling man before this encounter. I didn't watch any kind of horror movie. I didn't listen to any spooky podcasts. I was leaving college thinking about the next project or test that I was probably putting off. And for whatever reason, he decided to draw my attention and show himself to me.
Dude.
Yeah.
Damn, you did good at
Yeah.
writing that out.
Yeah.
That was damn.
So for people watching, I don't know how to explain it very well with words, but so what I remember seeing.
You're driving, right?
So I'm driving normal, and I just happened to look across.
Grab the wheel of your car, imaginary car.
Yeah.
So
you're
and
sitting in
I,
the
like you were saying, you glance, like for us in the country, we look into the other people's windshield. You give your little finger to
Yeah,
wave
yeah,
high or whatever.
yeah, you
One
lift your
finger
finger up.
means hey. 2 fingers means hey, how you doing? Full hand means hey, how's your mom and them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's exactly right.
So anyways, this is on the highway.
It's how to
and
live
I
in
just-
Texas.
Again, this is a 70-mile-an-hour highway, and I was just driving, and I looked over for a split second, and I can tell you that his side was going down, and I was going up.
Okay.
So that it was just on one of the little hills.
Yeah.
And I looked, and he's like this, like full-blown smile, like that. And the smile, I don't know how to explain to you how
This is
big
the
the smile
thumbnail.
is. But okay,
All
so
of us.
Ready?
okay. But the thing is that so when you smile, there are
Yeah.
so many muscles in your face that
Yeah.
move around. There was nothing for him. It was just smile. There was no like raising of the eyebrows or like squinting of the eyes. It's just normal face,
Yeah.
smile.
Ooh.
And then
just
the
like
tall detail
just
where he's hunched
imagine
over,
dead,
staring
like
right
dead
at me.
eyes. Like
Ooh.
everything about the face is dead, but the smile is just immaculate.
So no wrinkle.
But this
nothing.
is the thing. I couldn't see details, but I could see it was so fast. Like you're moving 70 miles an hour
Yeah.
past each other on a highway, and I just look at him long enough to see smile.
But
and
it like
thing.
plants it into your brain.
Yeah, I remember like seeing it. I was like, what?
What?
And I was like, turn the radio off.
if you could pick a Joker character, how close?
I
Like
actually,
what would be
I actually
yeah.
saw
the
one.
closest Joker character?
Y'all have to like fill in for me because I actually saw people talking about this. How it?
Oh,
does.
how it
There
kinda
is one
reminds
that
him
looks
of the
like it.
Joker?
I couldn't tell you. You might be able to know. I don't know the comics as well.
Okay.
But it was like his cheeks had been like ripped out. So
Oh,
it was just exposed teeth.
Oh, are you sure it wasn't the
Is that the
I
original
think
Batman?
it's like no, not the Killing Joke. Oh, what's the one where he cuts his own face off and then
What?
he puts it back on? Yeah,
I don't know.
he literally like takes his own face off, and then he like uses like staples and he staples it back onto his face. Like yeah. And I can't remember. Like maybe Batman: The Long Night. Maybe
I wouldn't be able to do it because I
Who
remember
played,
seeing it.
who played Joker in the
passing.
original Batman?
And what
Like the full like white face,
oh
like
the
clown makeup.
yeah
like,
the actual
to
clown.
the nines.
Or are you talking about the Batman from the 90s?
No, that like the first original Batman movie,
Oh,
like
Jack?
back in like the 70s.
Was that Jack Nicholson?
Oh, it does Jack
Nicholson,
Yeah,
that's
Jack
right.
Nicholson.
that is the scariest Joker for me. Like just
Really?
aesthetic wise, yeah.
Huh. That's like the
he's
most
one of my
comic looking one.
favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the most comical, but
Yeah.
like just the look of like the character, that's just
Yeah, Jack Nicholson played the gangster side
creepy.
of the Joker very
And,
well.
like,
Yeah. I won't be able
And
to
the
find it
psychoticness.
without.
I would-
because I went through so much. To
I would
find
say
that.
Heath Ledger's was like probably the most terrifying, but I know him from movies before
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah. So,
So-
man,
Would
that's.
Would you
hard
like
to-
to know how I got these scars?
So you were mentioning something about like passing people. Is that what
Okay,
you're
yeah,
going to touch
that
on?
that
Gotta lick your
really
lips.
hits home for me, and it creeps
like
me
to
out
know.
because I do that all the time, and I've seen some kind of like I've had like those kinds of moments, but nothing scary, and now I'm terrified.
Yeah.
because we live, like
Like,
the
I don't know
roads are
how
so
that-
close together, and like, I mean, if you think about the drive to like Austin, like it's just two lanes, like.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'm gonna
there's-
be doing that from now on, and I'm freaked out.
Hey, we got a
we
got
got
an
a
8 hour
fucking 9-hour
drive to
or
Lubbock.
no, excuse me, 15-hour
No, yeah, round trip.
round trip to Lubbock.
Yeah,
We
and we're
look at all
doing
the
it.
faces.
We're doing the beginning of it in the dark.
And Kolby knows that like I enjoy people watching. Like it's like a thing that I
too.
do.
I do
So
too.
like it's like whenever I go to eat and I have like I'm eating in my car, I'll go to where there's like people moving. So I'll be like, that dude looks weird or something like that. So like
That's
it's the
awesome.
same thing whenever like you're driving past them. Like it's like kind of instinct for us in the country specifically to look.
Yeah.
Dude, it ruined me.
It
Because
did,
I
it
don't
ruined me.
get scared by like a whole lot of stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Like I legitimately get uncomfortable by telling that.
Yeah,
So-
I can tell.
So
You-
when you looked at him, did you focus in on his face, or like what?
Yeah, it was
like,
immediately face.
Immediately face.
Yeah.
See, that's weird because I try not to look at people's faces.
oh, see, I'm the opposite. I look
Yeah, no, I try to
directly
look at their
dead in the
face.
eye. I try to get them right
Yeah.
dead
Well,
in the
so-
eye.
It's
I guess-
only when driving. Like, but if I'm like on the street walking, I'll like
Yeah.
look at everybody.
So like I can say on our road, I'll look for the hand on the steering wheel to make sure that they're like, are you gonna wave to me or am I gonna wave to you? That
you
kind of a
being
thing.
Am I starting it or
Are you
you
being a
starting
nice
it?
person today?
Exactly. But like on the highway, it's such a quick thing. You don't know anybody. Like you're just if you're gonna wave to someone
Yeah.
on the highway, you're gonna go like that so they see
Yeah.
you. You know,
But like
What do you-
even like at like
as in like a big oversized
at
wave.
like
you know?
at like light stops, I try to avoid eye contact.
Yeah, I won't do that.
Oh, I look
But it's
right
like
at people.
it's like it's just such a weird thing, man. Because I like just driving normally, look over for a second, and then like what was that? You know,
Do you remember the vehicle?
Oh, it was like an SUV of some kind, something
So
like that.
he was hunched over in a big ass SUV.
Yeah,
Damn.
Man
That-
was
and that's the other
man was
thing.
9.5 feet tall.
that's
Yeah.
the other thing that like the tall detail that I didn't really explain because I felt like it would bog it down. But you know, cars have like the little strip of darkening, so it's like a
Yeah,
sunglass
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
He was below that, so he was tall enough to where his shoulders were here, and he was like hunched over, like
So
making
he
sure
wanted
he was
you-
looking at me. Yeah,
He wanted you
so
to
you saw
see
him through the windshield.
through the windshield. Yeah,
Okay.
through the windshield.
Yeah, no. So what if this cryptid is like cousin to like Slenderman?
That's kind of what people say. So it's an SPC. I forget what that exactly stands for. But
I was
it's-
wondering when you said it earlier. I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to sound like a dummy.
It's-
Like,
no, it's
like a
just
dumb
another
Slim
newbie.
person condition.
SCP.
Oh, SCP.
Yeah.
That's interesting, dude. That was a good. Like all of those are great stories. You did so good with the smiling man.
SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect.
What?
So this is like a whole thing. It's like, so I'm gonna be butchering this because I didn't look into it enough because I'm terrified of these things. But there's old games and stuff where it's like SCP-103 or something like that, and it's a game where you go and it's like a facility
okay.
and it breaks out of its containment.
Yeah.
And these are so what I think the idea is it's like an area where they keep all these cryptids and things, and like here is SCP-101. This is what he does. This is why he does this and this and this, and it broke out.
And the fucked
So
up
now we
thing
need to
is
go get
that's possible with the shit.
with the-
the
with,
shit
like, the
that
stuff
we've
that-
heard like with government
Yeah.
and keeping shit secret.
Yeah.
Like all the UFO shit coming out early last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I wouldn't put it past them.
dude,
I wouldn't either. I mean, isn't there? Speaking of like cryptids and just them being out in the wild that we don't know about, isn't there some kind of like forest somewhere where if you put it on Google Earth, it's blacked out.
Oh no, I
Like
don't
you
know about
can't.
Oh, is it the Japanese forest?
No.
The suicide
I don't.
forest?
No, it's not the suicide forest.
What
It's
about
like
Skinwalker Ranch? Is that available to like?
Oh,
look
you
at?
talking like it's just like a
It's just a-
government area that's blacked out.
I don't know. Like I just know that when you look it up, like and you
I know-
keep zooming in,
I know
it's
f-
just a black square.
Fort
Like,
Knox was like that for a while. Like
Yeah,
you
like-
couldn't,
I didn't
you
know
like
couldn't
government
look satellite.
buildings and stuff,
Like
yeah.
there was no public satellite images.
Yeah,
of,
yeah. That's understandable, but it's just out in the middle of nowhere, like out in the
Yeah.
forest somewhere.
I mean, there's multiple government bases and facilities that no one
never thought
knows
about it being like a government facility.
Yeah.
That's
But you-
interesting.
Or it's someone contracted by the government. A lot of times, like FBI, like
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a good
I'm glad y'all enjoyed that one.
dude,
So-
all of these were great.
I sent that story into Scared to Death to like but back then I was like, so what had happened is I'm trying to backtrack here. The encounter happened. I put it off for so long, and then Scared to Death comes out with an episode about a smiling man, and I was like, this is a thing. This is a thing that people hear, like or people see. And I was like, this
Oh,
is not
shit.
just me.
You just thought that was a weird encounter.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Just-
I was like, that dude is like creepy.
Yeah.
And then later on, I heard about it. I was like, what was it that I actually saw?
Oh man.
So as soon as I listened to the episode, I sent in a story, and they responded like everything. And they were like, I knew I didn't write it out well because I was still freaked out about it.
Yeah.
Not like I did today. If I would have wrote it like that, maybe it would have gotten on.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it didn't because I got to share it here. But regardless, they're like, that's weird. I'm not gonna look into cars anymore. and then I was like, okay, fair enough.
that sounds like something Lindsay would say. She'd be like,
I think it-
not
I think
doing
it was
that
back
anymore.
when
All
Lindsay
right.
was checking the emails
yeah,
and stuff. Yeah,
that's awesome. Shout out to Scared to Death.
Yeah, no.
Oh, also, we need to give shout outs to all of our buddy podcasts, but you go ahead and
Yeah.
finish.
I was just gonna say I cannot recollect any instance that I've seen like over
Let me,
sized smiling person.
I
Yeah.
forgot to give it to you to put on the stream deck, but there is an image that is like pretty famous for what the smiling man is, and that's kind of the one that
See
everyone sees.
See-
that gives me Jack Nicholson vibes.
Yeah, it does.
That is
Yeah.
creepy
And
as
so
shit.
even for the thing that I saw, I won't show it on the camera because it's just not going to be
Yeah.
in focus and all that. We'll put it up on socials. Is that his mouth is like there's depth to it. You can see
Yeah.
where his teeth go
It's like
back.
it's like his
It's
upper
like it
lip.
wasn't like that when
His
I saw
Yeah.
it.
his upper lip starts at his cheek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like an inch below his eye.
Like the corner of his upper lips
see?
start like an inch below his eye, and then it's kind of like a cat.
Dude,
like-
but real talk though,
cat
like
have those
the
trowels.
Joker from the comics.
Yeah.
Like it really
Exactly,
does
yeah.
look like
That's
some
the
of the
most famous
darker
picture.
Batman comics. Like that is such a creepy picture. Oh my god.
Oh, I have pictures for my stories as well.
Okay, good. You
Nice.
need to send them to me. I need to upload the
just-
pictures from last episode
I just
today.
found
Don't let me
pictures
forget.
that would.
Gotcha. So are we ready
oh,
to
this
draw
is
for next
actually-
episode?
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Well, before we draw, or actually, let's go ahead and draw, and then while we're opening, I'll give the shout outs for the other podcasts.
Okay.
So whose turn is it?
I'll pick since y'all picked last time.
Yeah, I mean,
This
it
is
doesn't matter.
this is the woman in the wheelchair. That was on the creepypasta like page.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
so
it.
it's just like a babushka.
The
Yeah.
babushka.
All right, both of y'all
All right,
take
And
one.
then this is the
The hole.
the wet spot in the ceiling.
Yeah, that's the detail about the rotting body is so
All right,
disgusting.
so we're pulling from the jar, and I'm gonna say it again. We need this jar.
No way,
named.
did y'all pick both of the white papers?
Yeah.
Those are the only two white ones.
Oh,
Those are the only two white
That's
ones.
weird.
Left. The rest are like yellow. Okay, so there's the
but
end of that era.
so yeah, definitely. Follow us on everything from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and in the comments, give us tell us what you want us to name the jar. Tell us in the comments
tell us.
on.
Don't name it.
one
It's
of them.
jar.
It's a jar.
I did,
It's a jar.
I did glance over to chat when we said it the first time, and I was dreading someone would say this, but I did see Jar Jar.
I figured one of y'all Star Wars nerds would be.
Ooh. All right, so we're gonna give a shout out to some of our fellow podcasters. We got Terraform Podcast, who there's the somebody of mine's from school. They started a horror podcast, and then they're like freaking like I don't know how many episodes deep, and
They're getting it though.
yeah, they're getting it,
They just
and
did that
they're
little
really
ghost
good.
hunt
You
in
should
the
definitely go
garage.
check them out. Yeah, they did the ghost hunting thing in the garage on YouTube.
Definitely
they
check
videoed
that
it.
out, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And then our buddies in Dark Hour Podcast, they are so good at telling stories, and it's a husband and wife or fiance, or they're
Yeah,
together.
Whatever it is.
But
Regardless, their storytelling back and forth.
yeah,
is
it's
really
so good.
Yeah.
Like their back and forth is amazing, and they do a really good job with their video edits and stuff. So please go check them out. That's Terraform Podcast and Dark Hour Podcast. All right, what do we got on the lists?
You go first.
I go first.
Because I got... I see it.
What do you got?
Okay. Before we say anything, these are the 2 creepiest things for either one of y'all.
Oh shit.
More so than the smiling man?
Yes.
What is that?
I got doppelgangers.
Oh no, man.
I got dolls.
Oh shit.
yeah.
I got the double D's in the house, dude.
So dolls is next episode because
Yeah.
I pulled
Okay.
it second.
I want to do this one live.
We have prepared.
Are we okay to do this one live? Are y'all okay to hold this one?
Why do you want to do it live?
Because I want it to be in front of the viewers.
Oh
it's gonna
my
be fun, man.
god.
We can do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do you want to do that one?
Okay.
As
Okay.
well?
Okay. So
Because
then-
I don't
These
have
are
any.
all 2 beefy
I
stories.
don't have any doppelganger stories to tell, so I'd rather
Make
one
that
of
an
us-
episode. Make
yeah.
this an episode.
Okay, so we'll do a doppelganger. So next episode 6 will be doppelgangers.
Episode
Episode
7 will be
7,
dolls.
which will be streamed live on Twitch, will be dolls, which is my biggest fear. And doppelgangers is one of Caleb's biggest
Ooh,
fears.
next Monday is gonna be.
So let's see. Are there any just like small tales you can think about? So for doppelganger, the first thing I can think of is that whatever. Now I'm starting to think that whatever's in that Brazoria house was a doppelganger
Yeah.
because my brother going missing for a couple like hours or whatever it was,
and then
Yeah.
your other
and then
brother.
showing up, and then my other brother that I thought it was running around that kitchen island.
Oh man,
Shadow
that
person,
shit.
but I thought it was him. Whatever.
Yeah.
So those could be doppelgangers, but yeah, no.
and and then the steps upstairs were it mimicking your dad.
Oh my god.
Oh man,
My dad. Okay, that's another thing. He used to do it. Like he'd go up there and just
Yeah,
have a
that's-
drink.
yeah.
You know.
and just kind of
Get a
chilling
little,
up
get
there.
a little
chilling
tipsy
myself.
and dance around.
Yeah.
Yeah, dance around.
Don't say dance. too much dancing in my day today.
I can't think if I think of something, but I can't really think of dolls.
I think my fear of doppelgangers is very. I want to say it's relatable because if you're talking or engaged in something with someone that you know, and they leave whatever the presence is, and then you get a call or you get some kind of sign that wasn't them,
Yeah.
that's so unnerving.
Yeah, that is
that
very
it
unnerving.
is so
Yeah,
bad.
so doppelgangers are unnerving to me. Dolls not so much.
It's not even a fear of seeing my own doppelganger so much. It's somebody else
Oh yeah.
for me.
Is it
personally.
isn't
I
the
don't know.
lore if you
I
see
think
your
that-
doppelganger you die or
I
something?
think I don't know how true that is or what it is, but yeah.
Man, the only scary story I can think of.
Science says it's possible.
I don't
Yeah.
know where I heard this from, but apparently, there was this story where there was this little girl, and or it might have been a movie or something, and they were going to leave the house, but the little girl was actually the little girl was in her room.
Scared to death, I believe.
Yeah, and then they were going to leave their house, but then they realized, wait, no, she's still in her room, and it wasn't her. She started to turn her head, and the guy was
Yeah.
like, nope, and he fucking
Exactly.
bounced. Yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
get
that gives me chills.
They
Yeah.
get me good. So, you have any little doll tales? I know you have the long one. Do you want to save that for that episode? Like the main doll story?
Well, I mean, my main doll stories are the stuff with my dreams with the doll.
Do you have any other ones aside from that? Because that one's pretty long.
Yeah, that's true. Just
What about them scares you?
it's the fucking uncanny valley
Yeah,
shit.
because they look real, but they're not.
Yes, and I don't know, the term vessel.
Oh, yeah, that it embodies
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, so it's because it looks so kind of real. It seems like it would be a welcomed thing for something evil to take over.
think-
It would be easy. It's
Yeah.
empty,
I think Ed and Lorraine Warren just got to you.
dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's just always been a thing.
So, next episode, we got doppelgangers, and episode after that, we got dolls. This is going to be a good.
The double D event. Double D event. And you know what's funny is next episode will come out the day that we live stream dolls. So
Oh, yeah, you'll get both of them. Yeah, that's true.
Yep, that's right, dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. This is a great episode.
Dude,
I had a lot of fun.
I'm thoroughly spooked,
yeah.
Thoroughly spooked.
and I think I'm ready to knock this Ouija
All
board
right.
out.
All right. Yeah, I'm ready too. So, all right, now we're going to
wrap
end
up the
it.
show.
Yeah, we're wrapping up the show, and everyone in chat, stick around for the chat section / Luigi board session.
Be sure to go follow us on all the socials. Everything's linked.
Yes.
We
Link
got a
tree.
whole link tree for you.
Yep. And yeah, all right. Well, have a good night, all you spoopy people. Stay classy and don't let the monsters under your bed bite. I don't know.
No,
I'm
what
not
was
good
it?
at-
Tell
I'm
you
not
had
good
a
at saying
tagline.
goodbye.
Tell
You
your,
had a tagline.
tell
Oh
your
yeah,
mom.
make sure to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your monsters under your bed about Dead Reflections podcast, and tell them to follow us, like, subscribe, review, rate, all of those great things on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
On all of
YouTube,
it.
all of it, because all of that helps us, gain traction and have other people, see our podcast when they search horror podcasts
And do things like weird Ouija board stuff.
Yeah,
whenever
you
we hit
guys are the
milestones.
reason why we're about to die.
Maybe so.
Next milestone is a live ghost hunt.
Oh my god.